Welcome back to bonpi. Today is the 1st of October, which means it's time to do the September recap. So for anyone who's unfamiliar, in the recaps I do a favorite section, including some products, some music that I recommend, and then I do a little bit of like a ranting, rambling session where I just sort of talk about a topic that I feel like deserves a spotlight this month. And sneak peek, this topic is about balance. So let's get right into it. This is a lip oil by Kaja, and it has a little heart in the top. It's kind of cute. I don't know if you can see it, but you can hear it rattling around. And this is in the flavor Raspberry Refresher, and it gives like a really nice red tint. So I'll show you. It smells really good, and it goes on really smoothly. And the tint is sort of like just perfect, just there. So I really enjoy it. Next up, I have another beauty product. This is a blush from I'm Mimi, and it's their Bare Cheek Liquid Blush. This is the shade 002. I don't exactly know the name, but it's actually so effortless. You just kind of put it on and then just blend it out with your fingers, and then like that's it. And like it's super subtle too, so like you don't have to worry about it being too much. You just put a little dot on, blend it out, and then you're good. So let me just blend it out real quick. Like I usually do it with my fingers, but of course you can do it with a sponge or a brush as well. There we go. Super easy, super quick. Yeah, so these are two of both really handy products, and I definitely recommend them. Okay, so this is Golden Nectar by Nest. It's a perfume. This is actually a mini version that I got as a birthday gift from Sephora, and it smells kind of like a floral but also a little bit gourmand, so it feels a little more hearty. There's more substance there. I typically don't like either florals or gourmand, but for some reason this really got my attention, and I've been really liking this, and I might pick up a bigger size when I run out of this bottle. So yeah, that's Nest Golden Nectar. Okay, and then this is different. I have a pen, which, well, it's actually a pen and a pencil because it has 8 different leads inside, which means you can have a pen just like this. For example, let me write this out. So like that's blue. And then if I switch it out and twist it over one, I can have black and red. So you have all the 3 colors there. And then it has both pencil lead and colored lead. So for example, I can just do a pencil. So this is just HB lead. And at the same time, also do red color. So it's kind of like a coloring pencil, but just the middle part of the coloring pencil. And they even have like neon LEDs. So this is the pink highlighter, and this is yellow. You can't really see it. This is the red pencil. This is the regular HB pencil. And there's also another color of blue as well. Right here. And that's technically meant to be non-copyable, so if you mark it up on a document and you photocopy it, it's not going to show up on the photocopy. So that's all in one pen, and it's not even that thick at the bottom. Like it feels pretty much like a normal pen down here, and all the LEDs are stored up here. I got mine off of Jet Pens, and I'll put it in the description because it's a really handy tool, and you kind of just have this pen to do everything. And then lastly, this is a plushie that is Ditto. Of course, I've already mentioned I like Ditto a lot, and this plushie, it's Ditto, but it's also a reversible plushie, and if you saw by the color, it is Snorlax on the other side. So let me just... It's now Snorlax with sort of Ditto's face on it, which is really funny, and it has its little arms and legs as well, and it's actually a really squishy plushie. I really like it, and it's also pretty big size too, so if like this is my head, then the plushie's right here. So I'm really happy with this. This is sort of like my happy purchase, and honestly it's really fun too, and people are always so shocked when I show them it can switch, so really excited about this one. Definitely recommend if you're a fan of Pokemon in general. Okay, So now that all the physical favorites are over, let's check out some song favorites. I'll be using Receiptify, which is a platform that helps you get your top songs and turns them into a receipt, which is kind of cool. So first, my recommendation is Boy Toy by Ricky Montgomery. It was really funny because I discovered this song since a lot of people were making memes of it on TikTok, and I thought that was really funny. Or like people were making anime edits. Yeah, Ricky himself was getting kind of upset because his song was just getting stolen by the anime community, which was really funny. Number 2 is Internet Crush by Jeremy Zucker. I actually have listened to a song way in the past, but I rediscovered it and it just felt so familiar, so I kept listening to it on repeat, so that's why that's there. Next up, I have Cold War by Cautious Clay. I'm not sure how I discovered this. I think it might have been on a random playlist and then I shuffled onto it and then I really liked it. These are all sort of like chill vibe songs. It sort of makes you feel like you're floating. I really like whatever genre of music that counts as. And also I have Rush by Troye Sivan. I actually also found his song off social media because there was this video of a guy dancing to Rush by Troye Sivan, like in the chorus, and it was really engaging and I really like the song and the chorus part too. It just gets you really motivated and pumped up. And lastly at 5, I have Falling Behind by Loewe. I don't know how you properly pronounce her name, but Lauvey, and she's been going sort of viral on TikTok, and all her songs are this bossa nova jazz, and they're really fun and chill to listen to, so definitely recommend checking her out if you haven't already. So those are my 5 songs, and I do have an outfit for you guys, so just give me a second. Okay, first you'll notice that this is not what I was just wearing, but I actually planned this in advance and I completely forgot to actually wear the outfit. So anyways, this is a hoodie, zip-up hoodie from Sonder, or Starry Sonder, and the best part about it is that on the hood there are ears almost. So here there's one and then one on the other side as well. So it's really cute and it's giving sort of New Jeans vibes, if you know what I mean, with the ears, and it looks really cool when you look at it from the back as well. For the top, this is just a tank top from Halara. It's like a workout tank top, but just like a pretty plain basic. And then for the pants, these are from Santo, and they're cargo pants, and they're really cool because they have straps at the side that you can pull tighter or looser, so you can adjust the waist to your liking. And plus it has like really nice pockets. Like they all zip, which is really nice. And yeah, as I was saying, this is you can just pull it taut and then you can adjust your waist. So really recommend these pants. Plus they look really, they're like the perfect amount of cargo in my opinion. So that was a really good find for me. And this is all good. Oh, and yeah, no shoes today, but that's okay. Let's go back and do the sleep and we'll get on with the rambling. Okay, so let's check my sleep for this month. This has been my first full month back at school, so I'm a little bit scared of what it will look like. My hypothesis is not very good. Let's see. Okay, so I've averaged 6 hours and 44 minutes of sleep, which is pretty impressive. I feel like I would have been under 6:30, and I know that we have already departed the realm of 7 hours, but I thought it would be less than 6:45 for some reason. But I don't have high hopes about next times as well. I don't think we're really gonna hit 7, so I guess we'll just keep it from 6:30 to 7 hours of sleep and call that a win for now. Okay, so now that all the favorites are out of the way, let's talk about balance. Okay, so when I mean balance, I mean sort of figuring out things in your life and what takes priority and what you do when. So in my life right now, the biggest balance is between responsibilities, so schoolwork stuff and like outside things, such as this YouTube, for example, or any club involvement I'm in. I know these responsibilities don't sound like much because I'm still really young, but everyone has responsibilities, and at whatever age, they all feel kind of like a burden. So I'm saying this because I'm acknowledging the fact that it's difficult, and I'm sure for everyone out there, they're sharing the same difficulty too. Because we're all doing things in life, we're all moving forward, and there's no way everyone's got it perfectly figured out. So Something I did recently is start a Notion, which is one of those really cool planner online website organizers that people always use. And I found a really cute template, and it sort of motivates me to put my tasks in, set deadlines, set colors, and then check them off once I've done them. Sort of like gaming my life or making my life like a game. And it's really fun, actually. I like condensing down all my tasks and remembering what they are, because sometimes I just don't remember what my tasks were to begin with and then don't end up doing them. So that's definitely something that I've enjoyed doing recently. I also have like a little whiteboard that I write all my urgent things down that might not necessarily require a task in my Notion or organizer. So that's sort of there as an instant brain reminder for something that needs to happen in the next day or so. But outside of those, I don't think there's really much you can do about balance, because it's pretty tricky to really figure out what needs time when and what should take priority. Because I know sometimes we want to put ourselves first, right? But it feels wrong to put ourselves first when other things are really important too. So I always spend too much time on schoolwork because I'm always stressed about the fact that these grades will affect my life, and then like everything else about my life as well. Like if I don't have a good grade now, then in the future I'm going to be screwed. And I know that's a horrible mindset to have, but that's what happens. And no matter what I do, I always feel like I need to make sure everything's done, that it looks bad to ask for help. And yeah, I know that's really not healthy, but at least I'm acknowledging it, right? So I guess recently I've been putting some time into taking care of myself. So taking breaks, taking naps, doing things I want to do sometimes, and just like relaxing and giving time for myself so the balance can sort of even out a little more. I guess that's what the balance really talks in. It compares time. So you want to find a place where you feel satisfied dedicating some time to one topic and some more time to another subject. You want to balance out your time where you feel okay giving some time to one subject or one topic and giving a little more, a little less, or even the same amount of time to something else. I know other people are really busy with sports, really busy with their life at home, with jobs, and that's the similar problem between balance, because it feels like you have to do everything, and that's not possible. It's not possible for any of us. Like we all have to take a pause somewhere, and something's going to have to go. So in my case, I sacrifice a lot of sleep, as we just kind of discovered, which is not great, I know, but that way I feel like I'm not taking time, or I get to earn some time back almost. So that's the motivation behind why I get stuff done instead of going to sleep, because I feel like this productivity is a better trade-off. And sometimes I think it is. Like if you're doing a project and you're really tight and you need to get it done, or something horrible is going to happen, then definitely just spend the time doing it, because if you don't have that reflex to sacrifice your time, then you're going to end up just not doing things at all. So I think it is a super useful reflex, just in my case it goes off way too often, and I always seem to stress about things that don't actually matter that much. I think there's also balance in a lot of other things, like not just what takes up your time. There's a balance between you and others, so between how much you're giving to others and how others are giving to you. So for example, it is still kind of related to time, but if you spend a lot of time hanging out with people, but that time is not really respected, so that time you don't really make use of it, it feels almost like you're wasting that time, then there's a balance between always hanging out and staying in and doing something else. You never have to do just one thing. You can always pick some point in the middle and see how it feels and adjust as you need. And I think everyone has a balance point, or an equilibrium, I guess you could say in science words, and they just need to sort of figure out where that's at, and I guess figure out where others are at too, so they don't have to push people past their equal point. And I don't know what happens there, but it doesn't sound good, does it? I think in the greater context, when I say balance as a piece of advice maybe, I mean try to get to a point where you feel satisfied. So it's like as if you are sort of balancing in the middle of something, where you feel comfortable stopping and like taking a seat at that balance point, and you're okay with how things are distributed. So that could be in the sense of activities where you're devoting a certain amount of time to each thing, where with your friends and you're devoting a certain amount of time to hanging out and making sure you have your alone time. Or it could be a balance in how you think about yourself, whether it's really positive sometimes or if it's negative sometimes. There's balance in everything. And I think it's hard to sort of get all those balances lined up and like calibrated to the middle point. So if I had to say, I feel like I have found balance in some things, but definitely not all. I'm far from that. But finding balance just means your brain can take a break and not focus so hard on everything. Finding balance cuts your brain a little slack because instead of having to worry about if you're doing too much or too little in a certain field, it can just let that autopilot at that balance point, and then you can use your time and energy to think about other things and how you're going to reach balance in that field. So I guess balance is kind of an autopilot for your brain, where if you're at that point, you can just sort of ride freely and achieve what you want without having to put too much stress or thought into it. And I think that's a really good place to be. So that's why I'm promoting balance today. So just to recap, we have balance in a lot of things. So you can have balance in activities, balance in time, balance in friends, balance in yourself, balance in thoughts. Everything has a balance to it. And that balance, it's tricky because you want to do everything, and that just means heading up both sides at the same time, and that's not really possible. So you do have to sacrifice some of one to do more of the other and find a point where you feel satisfied with. That's another important part. You want to feel satisfied with wherever you're ending up. So that balance point is sort of a grounding point in that area where you can feel satisfied doing however much of each thing or thinking however much about each thing. And because of that satisfaction, your brain no longer has to channel energy into that topic, and you can sort of autopilot, as I just said. So that's why I think balance is such a good term to reflect on and something so great to pursue. So thank you for today. It's been bonpi, and I will see you next month for the next recap. See ya!